with the name of the book so they can see.
It's August 5th, and this is Josephine Teixeira coming to visit the museum. I'm going to ask her a couple of questions. Mrs. Teixeira, what do you think about the $3 coming into the museum? What do you think about the fee?
Well, I think it's fine. People really want to see it, you know, they'll pay the $3. But at a time, they should have a special every now and then and make it a little less expensive and make more people come in. If, you know, because they can have once in a while, some people, they do that.
Can I ask you, where were you born, Mrs. Teixeira?
I was born in Madeira Islands. Was the first.
Mrs. Teixeira is looking at the picture of the Romia de Camacha, and she was in the picture, looking at the picture. She's the third young lady from the right looking at it. What can you tell us about the Romia de Camacha, Mrs. Teixeira?
That was this picture that's here is the first time that we went to Perry's Grove on a Sunday, you know, to entertain. And that was the very first time that Joe Baptist took the group out.
And who was Joe Baptist?
Joe Baptist was my brother.
But what was his function? What did he do for the Romia de Camacha? Tell us a little bit about the Romia de Camacha. What was it about? What was it all about?
Well, Uncle Joe, he liked dancing, and that was something that they used to have these Marias in the old country. And he formed this group. He formed this group. It was all the elderly people, like there was the Vasconcells from the West End that joined us, and the Calderos, you know, Mr. Caldero and his wife. She was in it too. And the Attleboro people, you know, was Manuel Gonsalves and his wife.
And where did you perform? Where did you perform in the city? Did you?
Well, they used to practice in Uncle Joe's cellar, you know, and then they. Whenever there was a time, someplace that they were having a gathering, then they would go to entertain.
Did you ever perform at the feast of the Blessed Sacrament? Did you ever come and dance up here?
No. No, because then, after this started, then the other groups from Madeira, from the North End, they started a group, which is the ones that are still going on. They were younger people, and they continued to. They started going in groups too, dancing.
Thank you. Okay, Mrs. Teixeira is going to tell us a little bit about the house in this particular display made by Mr. Joseph Baptist. Tell us about the house, Mrs. Teixeira.
The house belonged to Alfred Nobrega, you know, and he's a very prominent man there in Camacha. And Joe Baptist and his father, Antônio Batista Teixeira, they used to know him as, is the one that built that home.
And who was Antônio Batista in relation to you and Joe Baptist? Who were they?
Joe Baptist was his father.
And how were they related to you?
How they were related to me? It was my father and my brother.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Tell me, how did your brother make some of those? How did he make all that stuff?
It's all handmade carvings and work done by hand.
He dressed it up.
Huh?
Tell us about that doll.
Well, there's nothing about it. That doll was it just happened to be one of the.
It's a China doll.
Yeah, it happened to be one of the dolls that was in at Kacha's place. Yeah.
This is the display of Joseph Baptista, and we're going to give you a little rundown now as far as who the characters were, and I'm going to have his son come in and explain who he was and what he accomplished in his lifetime. All right. Okay, we have here two people, and this is Mr. Joseph Baptista Jr. and Mrs. Josephine Teixeira. Josephine Teixeira was the sister of...
His younger sister.
Younger sister of Joe Baptista, and Joe Baptista Jr. is the son. So, Joe, why don't you tell us a little bit about your father?
Well, my father was extremely talented, and he lived to 92 years of age. And he retired about 65, and then he got involved in all of this to take up his spare time. For instance, he bought a kiln so that he could bake his ceramics. He went to school in Portsmouth, Rhode Island to learn how to do it. And the woodworking he learned from his father, Antonio Baptista, who was a master carpenter in the old country. In fact, my first job was working with my grandfather, Antonio. See, and This is something that he was extremely talented, and it really is remarkable some of the things he did. A lot of the stuff he did with clay, and he molded it, or it must have been either clay or plaster Paris, and then he painted it, you see. And the model he took, the model of the church, which is not shown here, he did from crates that came from the Azores. They used to pack yams, what they call dashins. And the crates would come into the Liberty Market, and he'd take the wood, and he used to do all these things, you know. And he was really quite a remarkable fellow.
What part of Camacha did he come from?
My father came from Great Surround. It's a neighborhood above the Shah at the Camacha, what they call the Sítio dos Vinhos, near the, what is now the Sonoris Church. Okay. And around the Café Relogio area.
Okay.
You know.
Did just for point of information, Mr. Joseph Baptista Jr. here gave the lent $21,000 to the museum to start this project, to get it off the ground, and the club Madeirans SS Sacrament, the club which supports the museum, he lent the money to them to get them started. Mrs. Teixeira, can you tell us a little bit about your brother? Where were you born? Were you stated previously in Camacha? What year were you born?
Well, I was born in the sítio de Bedford.
And what year was that?
Huh?
What year was that?
What year?
Yes, what year were you born?
Oh, in 1911.
Okay, so you should be 89 years old. What do you think of the display and the total display, a little bit of display first of your brother that's on display here?
Well, I'm very proud of what the work that he did, and my father. And I really think, what can I say? You know, it's I've got to be very proud of the work that they did. And my brother, he was, as Joe was saying, he was a very talented man, you know. He could do most anything, anything together.
What is your opinion of the museum? Looking at the museum for the first time,
it's beautiful. It takes a lot of time to look at it. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. Do you you feel that it was a worthwhile visit here this morning? Do you recommend it to other people?
It's I can't say.
Well, it is. It's very informative. It's something that it really is a reflection of the heritage of these people, that they came here in 1915 and they really settled here in the north end of the city. And so many of them have gone on to become very, very successful merchants. And that they took this idea and took it and ran it for another 85 years is quite remarkable.
Yeah.
I think it's just overwhelming when you think of the history back of it.
Okay, I'm going to get inside of this picture here. I've been the narrator of this this little video for the. That's okay. I've been the narrator. My name is Bill Teixeira, and this is my mother, and this is my cousin. And I've worked with on this particular video from the beginning, and it's been a pleasure, and it's been a joy to get the museum off the ground, working with Joe Souser and the other members who, without their help, could never have gotten this thing off the ground.
Precisely.
And we hope that in the future that you people who watch this will spread the word of what the Madeiran people have done, not only for our heritage, but also for the entire community of New Bedford. Thank you.